Hey, I'm Jay Kumar, the BassBlaster, and this is your Abu Garcia Revo Minn Kota Humminbird Top 5 Tips and Trends of the Month. Number 1. Well, we all know what the hottest bait of the year is, and given that it looks nothing like anything in nature, I guess that isn't hanging from a tree, it's probably a safe bet it came from... Or maybe it was...
This is a direct result of extraterrestrials tampering with our DNA.
Because the Department of War just said this is a UFO. Alright, anyhow, we just had 2 more Urchin wins, both without forward-facing sonar. Chris Johnston blasted over 100 pounds to win the Santee Cooper Bassmaster Elite in one of their no forward-facing tournaments. He was fishing a hide-up Coike full cast around deeper docks to get those bigger bites. Then Alabama's Alex Davis won the no forward-facing sonar NPFL on Lay Lake in Alabama with another Urchin bait, the Hag's Prickly Pear. He said he was just going down the bank with his eyes on his Humminbird Mega 360, basically fishing everything. Docks, brush piles, stumps, grass patches, real slow and methodical. Humminbird 360 was key for seeing it all, he said. So the big question is...
This is madness.
Is it madness?
I think so. I mean, I don't know if I'd argue with Thor. Anyhow, how long will this Urchin madness last? Well, I talked to a guy who recently went to Japan and asked that same question to our Japanese bass bros over there. They said the bass can't resist it deal lasted about 4 or 5 years over there.
5 years?
Yeah, but they have a lot less lakes over there, so I guess theoretically this deal could last a lot longer here, at least on lakes that don't get mega tournament pressure.
I'm stuck with the secret bait that no one knows about, the sea urchin.
So with that in mind, number 2. What happens when you fish behind guys who have been throwing urchins all day, which is...
right around the corner.
Just right around the corner and...
Yeah, or your fish have seen a million Coikes and are like, meh. Well, then you have 2 choices. Tie on your previous favorite bait, or maybe give your urchin some...
Stink, stink, stink.
Yeah, stink, 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 stank. Scent. So far you've got exactly 2 options. One is the new Berkley Meba, a brand new urchin style bait made out of Berkley's purple package Max Scent. Now I'm a big Max Scent fan, but that doesn't matter because guys like John Cox and Keith Carson are big Max Scent fans too. Here's why. That Max Scent helps make them bite and for sure makes them hold on longer. Now if that bait is out of stock like it is now, you can take any urchin bait and put scent on it. Here's MLF Bass Pro Tour rookie Jacob Walker showing how he does it.
If you're throwing the urchin style baits and you're having a lot of fish, follow your bait, they're not committing. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick. This is the Bait Fuel hard bait stick. Man, this stuff works really, really well on these baits. I'll just roll it out just like some chapstick, apply it to the bait here, and then I'll use my fingers and just rub it all over all the legs, around the body. And as I'm working this bait, it slowly disperses behind the bait. So I'm able to get a few of those extra bites that I wouldn't normally get. Y'all give it a shot. The Bait Fuel hard bait stick.
Yes, he's using what Bait Fuel calls a hard bait stick, but obviously it can be used on soft baits as well. Now that's got you covered on the scent deal, which you need, else it's like
Oatmeal, no sugar. Oatmeal, no sugar.
yeah, it's like oatmeal and no sugar, man. But what about sound?
Sound waves. Sound waves.
Will Livingston Lures make something you can put in a Coike to make it have sound? If so, what sound will they choose? Something natural or something
Unnatural.
We'll find out, man. Number 3. All right, first it was the skin hook, then it was the treble hook.
That was Zane.
Yes, it was just a few months ago. Since then, bass heads have been busier than a pond full of beavers trying to optimize this Coike deal. All right, not that kind of beavers. Anyhow.
Now look where we are.
Yeah, man, our inventive bros have come up with some stuff. And a lot of that rigging stuff so far, at least that I'm aware of, involves shoving stuff into the body of these baits. Here's a couple examples, starting with Western pro Todd Klein.
I take an 1/8 tungsten weight, narrow at the top, thick at the bottom. I push it up through the bait. When you get it to the top, you get just a little bit of meat, and then stick it through that ring. You will not lose your baits, and you will not lose your fish.
Now here's tournament angler Doug Chapin showing Jewel Bait's new Frico rig weights.
All you do is find your hole in the full cast, take whichever weight you want, start it in, and just push it through. There we got our weight, it's all the way in. Then all you do is push up a little bit. You can find your hole that your hook's supposed to go through. Take your Ryugi quad, go through the eye of that weight and through the Coike, and this thing is probably not coming off. If you want to be safe, you can take a little piece of plastic, put it over that.
Speaking of that Ryugi quad hook, here's how Japanese pro Kenta Kimura is rigging his Koikes now. Now, I'm not sure what that spiky thing is hanging down from that quad hook, but if you know, please drop it in the comments. Last but not least, check out how the crazy inventive peeps at Renault Tackle make a weedless Koike rig using their trigger hook. Yeah, man, a 2-bait weedless Koike rig. Not sure that'll be legal in all tournaments, but it's pretty cool. What rod are you gonna fish these with? Number 4.
What kind of rod do you like?
Well, we have jig and worm rods, spinnerbait rods, crankbait rods, minnow shaking rods, you name it. We even had carrot sticks. But so far, we do not have a Koike rod. Why? Well,
It's too early to say.
exactly. The techniques are evolving and the tournament situations with this bait are basically all new. But the guys are on the case like... Yeah, because when the pros set that hook, they need that fish to come in that boat. They ain't out there just having fun, man. They're like...
It's all business.
And remember, the Koike started out as kind of a finessey technique. But pretty quick already, it's become a power technique, maybe more so than a finesse technique. Now here's a couple examples of what some pros are using for Urchin rods, starting with Bassmaster Elite Pro Drew Benton.
My favorite gear to cast this on is bait casting gear because I'm fishing it around heavy cover, I'm flipping it around cypress trees, boat docks. A big tournament was just won on Santee, throwing it around boat docks. And you've got to have the gear to get them out of that heavy cover when they bite, but it's kind of a finessey style bait. It's I think Polnick described it the best. It's kind of if a jig and a jerk bait had a baby, it's kind of the way you're working it. You're throwing it up there and you're twitching it back to the boat, and then the fish kind of load up on it. And you need the rod that both allows them to eat the bait well and take it in, and this medium heavy 7.2 M1 does it for me. It's got plenty of backbone, but plenty enough tip to allow them fish to bite this thing and eat it really well and not affect the action of this bait. So I'm twitching it along, they eat it, and I get them in the boat.
All right, in a recent BassBlaster email, we had a post by Anglers Resource, who are experts on rod building and Japanese fishing. They quoted another student of Japanese bass fishing, Easton Fothergill, who had this to say about Koike rods. For spinning, I throw it on a 6.9 medium heavy extra fast. Bait casters, I like a 7.2 heavy moderate fast. I just recently started throwing it on a bait caster and I don't know which I like better yet. You get that? He doesn't have a favorite yet, but both those guys and other guys like Brandon Palaniuk seem to be favoring rods with tips that can work the Urchin but have enough backbone to cast a parachute basically and set the hook hard. Like I said, the whole Coike situation is under development, kind of like metal back in the day. Man, Pat's Chili Dogs must have been all that too. Number 5. Is Kiyoya Fujita the goat of hammering spinning rod hook sets?
Yes, he is crazy.
Yeah, people thought that, and then they wondered how he was doing it. I mean, he wasn't breaking any lines or anything, so the answer is that he was going super heavy. Like at Fork, he was using 50-pound braid to a 28-pound fluoro leader and a medium heavy spin rod. When's the last time you fished that? I've also pointed out a few times now that Japanese baits and pros have been influencing things at the pro level here more and faster than ever before. So maybe it's no surprise to see that hard spinning rod hook set spreading. Check this out. It's Carter Nutt, the twin brother of classic winner Dylan Nutt. And here's Dylan horsing one from the same tournament. Look at that lean, man. That was from the recent MLF Pro Circuit tournament on Tennessee's Douglas Lake. Carter won it and Dylan got second. So we've seen braid and especially leaders get heavier and heavier, even in clear water, although it's usually thinner diameter braids and high-end fluorocarbon leaders. And those hard spinning rod hook sets are the result. Man, I love how the techniques keep changing. I guess spinning rods aren't gonna be called this anymore.
Happy feet.
All right, for this shout out, we're gonna stick with the urchin trend theme. If you own one urchin style bait, you're probably storing it on your rod. If you won the bait lottery and somehow own more than 2 urchin baits, and maybe drained your PayPal doing it, what do you do then? Maybe some version of this. That works for sure. But is there anything better? Well, it looks like it. Check this out. That's the Plano Edge frog box repurposed as an urchin box. And it looks like it works great because the baits hang, they're suspended, and they can be taken in and out easily like this. So the Abu Revo Voltic Reel shout out of the month goes to Tyler Pignato, who posted that frog box video. I hope I said your last name right, man. Thanks for sharing that. All right, that's all I got for you this month. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Abu Garcia Revo and Minn Kota Humminbird. See you next month with the top tips and trends. God bless you.